Well, hello, this is Sister Bev on YouTube, Fabulously Functional, and I want to make these brownies. I want to do these brownies. It's not going to be real difficult. So, I said in my last video that I wanted to make these brownies. They are vegan brownies. I'm using Miss Jones brownie mix. It is organic, and she gives you the recipe on the back to make it vegan. So, that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to do it with expedience because I have to prepare for worship this evening. We are worshiping and celebrating the anniversary with one of our sister churches. And Dr. Woodard is bringing that word. And me and probably a few of our other members will be there to render some music. And praise to God for their church anniversary. So, I want to get started. I got all my ingredients here. And so we're going to start off by opening up this box right here mix. And here it is. This is all that's in the box. Simple bag of brownie mix. And so we're going to go ahead. Got my scissors here. I'm going to cut it open. Let's turn your attention down this way just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to cut this bag open like so, like that. Going to dump it in here. The other thing that is going to be added in place of the egg is, of course, your typical flaxseed egg. And so a flaxseed egg is going to be a mixture of 1/3 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. So I have my ground flaxseed here. That's my oven. It's ready to go. 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. I get mine from Aldi, organic ground flaxseed. This is the brown flaxseed. There is also golden flaxseed for your lighter color baking dishes. All right, and then I've got a 1/3 cup of water. I've got over here some alkaline water that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to pour that. As a 1/3 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of flaxseed. We're going to stir that up real good and then let it sit. That's what we're going to do. We're going to let it sit until it's ready and has the texture of a real egg. Okay? So we're going to let that sit over here. The other ingredients that we need to add are, it says mix 1/3 cup water, 2 tablespoons ground flaxseed, let it sit for 5 minutes. Whisk in 1/4 cup coconut oil, 1/4 cup of almond butter, and a 1/3 cup of water. So I'm going to go back to my 1/3 cup of water. I'm going to add that. Here's my organic coconut oil. We're going to get a 1/4 cup of that. Get me a little spoon here. Let's see. Here's a 1/4 cup right here. 1/4 cup of coconut oil. All right, we're going to pour that in there like that. And then a 1/4 cup of this wonderful almond butter I found at Meijer called Barney Butter, and it's made in a peanut-free facility. No GMOs, and it's almond butter, and it's the smooth kind. So they had crunchy and they had smooth. This is the first time I've ever bought almond butter. But that's what the recipe calls for if you're going to do it vegan style. So it obviously helps with the texture of the brownies if you use almond butter. Smells like almonds to me. Wonder what it tastes like. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and scoop up some of this almond butter. It looks like peanut butter, but it smells like almonds. And I'm supposed to do a 1/4 cup. Okay, is that a 1/4? That looks like about a 1/4. I kind of mashed it down in there. And I put the oil in there first. Why? So it can slide out very easily. Okay, so we got that. Alright, so we're supposed to have those 2 ingredients. the almond butter, the oil, and the extra third cup of water. We're going to let this flaxseed sit just for a few more minutes, but while that's sitting, I'm going to go ahead and get my hand mixer. And we are going to mix what's in the bowl already. Okay, so it says mix it together. Amen. Stir in brownie mix and stir until completely combined. Alright, so, yeah, I gotta make sure I got the right spindles in the right place. Okay, so I got my hand mixer here. I'll plug that up. And we're going to gently mix these ingredients. Now, the recipe does not call for walnuts, but I'm going to add walnuts to my brownies because I like nuts in my brownies. And in the words of Tabitha Brown, that's my business. Okay, so it has a nice thick texture. And just like a brownie mix to me. And I'm sure once I add the flaxseed egg, and I call it the flaxseed egg because it's replacing regular chicken's egg in this mixture. Okay, so we're going to stop that right there, and while our flaxseed egg is still formulating, we're going to take our baking dish here. This is I believe this is 8 by 8. Yeah, 8 by 8. A by 2 inch Pyrex baking dish, and we're going to cut we're going to cut some parchment out because it just makes the brownies come out better if you have that little piece of parchment at the bottom of that pan. I'm also going to oil the pan too with a little bit of this coconut oil. That's how I'm going to oil it. So I know you're saying, sister, what are you doing? Why you got the pan on top of parchment? Because this is how I'm going to cut the paper. So I'm going to go along the edges so I get the right size. This is a very sharp knife. Get the right size. I'm going to go right underneath here. I would draw it with a pencil and then cut it out, but this knife is sharp enough, well, I don't have to do that. Okay, so I got my parchment paper. Look at that. Look at that. It's not perfect, but there you go. That's what I need. So throw this away. I'm going to take this coconut oil. Get my little silicone brush, dip it in there, and I'm just going to put some coconut oil all around the sides and the bottom of this glass baking Pyrex dish, like that. Alright, and then I'm going to take this piece of parchment and lay it in there. That way my brownies will come out nice and smooth without sticking. Alright, now I'm still looking at this flaxseed egg, and it's still kind of gelling a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to our mixture right here, to our brownie mix. We're going to mix it up. It's going to help to change the texture of this mixture. Yeah, it looks like your typical brownie mix that you got to like spread in the pan. Oh, it smells so good, y'all. If you know how chocolate smells, that's how this smells. Very, very good. Okay? So I'm going to gradually lift that up out of there and speed it up to clean off my spindles. Like so, like that. Alright, put the spindles over here. Next, I'm going to add. Oh, and these walnuts are kind of big, so I'm going to need to chop them up. Let me get another bowl here, glass bowl. And I like a lot of nuts, so I'm probably going to do like 3/4 of a cup of these raw walnuts. 3/4 cup. Well, a little bit more than and then I'm going to use my all-famous chopper that I got from Pampered Chef quite some time ago. I used it for grounding up my ground beef while I cooked it. So I don't use it as much anymore because I'm not doing any meat. But I'm going to tell you what, it's excellent for chopping up nuts in a bowl. So you start off gently because you don't want nuts flying everywhere like they're doing now. But you start off gently and you just I kind of keep my hand over this so that the nuts won't fly out. But you just move this thing around and in circles, and it does a nice coarse chop. Or it'll do it as fine as you want. However long you want to chop it is how fine it'll be. But I don't want it too fine. I want chunks. I want nice sized chunks of walnuts in my brownies. So I'm going to chop it just a little bit more. Now, I could put it in the food processor, but the food processor tends to chop it up too much. So, see that? That's a nice texture. And I did that with my Pampered Chef. I don't even know what you call it, but I love this thing. So, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to fold this in to the mixture. I've got me a silicone spatula now, because I'm folding the nuts into the mixture. And then the next thing I'm going to do is spread this wonderful mixture. And you can add whatever you want to your brownie mix. I like nuts. And sometimes people like to add coconut, and that's nice too. Coconut and different seeds. Okay, so I think I added just the right amount of nuts. So now I'm going to take this, put it in the baking dish that's been greased and lined with parchment. Make sure you use parchment. Wax paper is not parchment. Okay, and so I'm going to spread that mix evenly in this pan like this. Like that. Look at that, y'all. Ooh, it smells good and it looks good. So I want to make it smooth as I possibly can. Alright, and now my brownies are ready to go inside the oven. And so the oven's set at 350, and it says I'm supposed to bake for 33 to 37 minutes. And when they're done, the edges are firm and the center jiggles slightly when touched. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to put it in the oven, and I'll let y'all know how it turns out. Y'all, they turned out magnificent. Look at that. Chewy, ooey, gooey, decadent brownies. Bye-bye.